I'm honestly so fed up with the abhorrent monetization we've been seeing in recent racing games. This has been a problem in the whole industry for a while now, but it seems to be getting worse and worse for racing games in particular. Especially with the release of LEGO 2K Drive, it has hit a major boiling point for me. So I'm going to rant about this topic because quite frankly, I'm pissed off. Let's start with easily the biggest offender on this list, LEGO 2K Drive. This is a $60 game, $70 in the next-gen consoles, with microtransactions. Many vehicles in the store are 10,000 brick bucks, with characters in the thousands. Yet you get low payouts from events, especially when replaying them. I've seen multiple people say they've completed the game in around 10 hours, and only have enough credits to buy a few vehicles. Sure, there is a system to build vehicles, but you still have to grind for parts and characters. To say that this is unacceptable is a goddamn understatement. Add on top of the fact that there is a plethora of DLC content planned, and you get a game that feels so overly monetized that it's sickening to even think about. Moving on, we have Gran Turismo 7. Oh boy. I'm not going to spend a lot talking about this game because I really wasn't interested in it regardless. However, it still needs to get a mention as it's a $60 game, $70 in the PS5, that is grindy to encourage you to buy its microtransactions. Many cars are ridiculously expensive and rotate out of the shop constantly to inhibit the fear of missing out, FOMO. The backlash was so bad that race payouts were increased after launch, but the damage has already been done. Next we have Disney Speedstorm, which is one of the more puzzling ones here as it's supposed to be free to play. However, currently you have to buy it until it comes out of early access. Considering Gameloft's history of awful microtransactions in Asphalt 8 and 9, I doubt I'll ever give this game a chance. If people who bought the Founders Packs are complaining about the grind, you can imagine how bad it will be when the game actually finally goes free to play. The sad thing is that all three of these games actually have good core gameplay for what I've seen. The reason why I'm saying this is because I didn't play them. Progression is very important for me in racing games, and when they make it a grindy, unrewarding mess to essentially force microtransaction purchases, count me out. It's a damn shame, because I was kinda looking forward to LEGO 2K Drive, but I know that even if I fall in love with the core gameplay, I won't ever be able to fully enjoy it. However, I'm not done yet as I have a lot to say about the bad monetization tactics in racing games that I've actually played. Let's start with ONRUSH. It's a game that I actually like a lot, but its microtransactions reared its ugly head after I finished the single player campaign. After this point, you don't get any credits from replaying events or playing custom ones. Being that I did not pay for PlayStation Online, the only way to get currency was doing daily challenges or unlocking profile tags. I did at least get some cosmetics from the loot boxes you get when leveling up, but most of the time it gave me cosmetics that I just didn't care for. I felt like I had no good way of unlocking skins without having to buy the premium currency. This was a $60 game when it was released, and these microtransactions were added in post-launch. This is not a problem anymore as the online servers being shut down made single player progress impossible, but it was still majorly disappointing at the time. For Need for Speed Payback, here's another $60 game with a loot box system where you can get cosmetic items and speed cards. The speed card system is so hot garbage as you rely on random chance to get a card that might positively impact the performance of your vehicle. I remember being so goddamn frustrated trying to upgrade one of my vehicles that I literally quit the game on the spot. At least EA learned from their mistakes, and both Need for Speed Heat and Need for Speed Unbound don't have any microtransactions. I have my issues with Hot Wheels Unleashed, and its additional content was the cherry on top on why I stopped playing the game. Thankfully, the game has no microtransactions, but it almost feels like half the game is locked behind DLC. It has 3 season passes, leading to such an overabundance of additional content. They even had multiple limited time battle passes that not only were not included in the season passes, but you can't even get them anymore. Especially since I don't think the base game offered enough to justify its $50 price tag, it was a complete slap in the face for someone like me who loves DLC content. And lastly, who can forget the newest Trackmania game? Not only do I think this is a very average game at best, but it's not as free to play as it might seem. They lock you out of many aspects of the game unless you pay a subscription. Seriously, a subscription? You couldn't go with a one-time purchase like previous games or done something like cosmetics? I feel the game offers next to nothing to justify this subscription model, especially when older games like Canyon and Turbo are so much better. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you guys on what you should do with your time and money. It's certainly not right for me to demand people to do something because of how I feel, especially since I know that some are just not going to agree with me. However, I really think that we shouldn't be dealing with this in the first place. That's why I have a huge appreciation for games like Need for Speed Unbound, Grid Legends, and the countless indie games that don't have awful monetization. They give you a great gameplay experience with no strings attached. Is that so hard to ask for? This has been Gamer Alex. I hope you enjoyed the rant, and have a great day.